it was Nas Reed elbowing Wemby like that. So if Nas Reed looked at Wemby, turned away, loaded his elbow right to the neck, and proceeded to follow through with the other hand as though that wasn't a mistake. Standards has been set. Fines have happened. Jaden McDaniels and Joker just got fined for much less. For there not to even be a fine, it's crazy.
One loud note to kick things off. Welcome back to the Dark Times Challenge. Here we go again, diving into another one. And today, we need to talk about what's being called Wemby Elbowgate. The NBA has officially decided not to suspend Victor Wembanyama heading into what promises to be a critical Game 5.
No further discipline for Victor Wembanyama after he elbowed Nas Reed in the face in Minnesota on Sunday night. He was ejected for this play. Multiple sources tell me, though, that there's not going to be a suspension. No fine. He will be playing in Game 5.
And naturally, a lot of people weren't happy about it. Timberwolves fans especially. When the news broke that Victor Wembanyama would not be suspended for Game 5, the reaction was swift and loud. And honestly, that frustration is understandable. We've seen the NBA come down hard on players for far less than what happened here.
Given that it was a flagrant 2, given that it was an elbow above the shoulders, which is usually how they classify these things, will he end up being suspended for the upcoming Game 5? And Adam Silver and the powers that be up in the NBA said, no! Hell no! Not only is he not going to get suspended, he's not even going to get the requisite $2,000 fine that comes with the flagrant 2. Victor Wembanyama, good to go for Game 5.
No shocker whatsoever, Kelvin. This is how they operate in the WWE, NBA. What works for us, what doesn't work for us, we'll figure it out. Yep. Oh, no, Wemby, he's a nice kid. We can't do that to San Antonio. We don't want to just flip the series, which it would do. Obviously, he didn't play. They barely lost, right? They barely lost without Wemby. And the idea is that without Wemby, they're probably going to lose the series, and it's not really what it seems the NBA wants. That was a foul that we've seen before, and Rob G laid it out. The other guys have been suspended for that. It's just I don't know what possible reasoning they could have other than Wemby's a meal ticket. Wemby's the future.
But we also have to keep something in mind. At the end of the day, the NBA is a sports entertainment business, and Victor Wembanyama is arguably the most exciting and marketable player in the league right now. So it's no surprise that the NBA wants to protect its product. The question a lot of people are asking, though, is at what cost?
Reminds me, and I'm not going to say names, but I got a chance after I got hurt, Stephen A. and Cam, to go to an NBA team. And we went out one night, and star player and role player did something. And I remember sitting with the coach the next day, and the coach said, he ain't him, and him ain't him. And it was interesting just hearing that, because it was like, oh, different strokes for different folks. So Cam, you talked about this earlier before. For repeat offenders or somebody like a Nas Reed, sure, that may be the case. For a guy like Wemby, first ejection, it's not going to be the case.
If he was a part of the Minnesota Timberwolves and you got away with that brother not getting suspended for this game, or you going into Game 5 with an entirely different attitude, and it may be something that works against Minnesota, because just if Wemby's not suspended, obviously the league is saying, you ain't him. There's different strokes for different folks, which means they're going to protect them. Which means that if you go out there and you try to get ultra physical with this brother, who's obviously very, very slim, 7'5", 235, he's rail thin at this particular moment in time. The bottom line is that if you try to get at him like that, the referees are going to be all over you, because if he's not being suspended, obviously they want him in the game. And if you try to take him out of the game, they're going to take you out of the game.
And on this one, I'm siding with Stephen A. Smith. I'm not saying Wembanyama needed a multi-game suspension, but at minimum, 1 game and a fine should have been on the table. The fact that there wasn't even a fine? That's egregious. That feels like a slap in the face, not just to Timberwolves fans, but to every basketball fan watching this league. There's having double standards, and then there's having no standards at all. And right now, with this situation, the NBA looks like it's operating with neither. Because that elbow, the way Wembanyama threw it, we've seen that before. We've actually seen something very similar from Ron Artest, better known as Meta World Peace.
This is playoff basketball. It is intense. It is game after game after game. And make no mistake about it, Naz Reid cheap shotted Wemby the 2 games before. Wemby just didn't cry about it. That was not within the game of basketball, but they play on. It's basketball, bro.
This is
basketball.
Are you telling me a push is the same as I'm cocking my elbow and hitting you in your face?
It's not.
Man, since you want to show video clips, cool. Now we watch this soft stuff you showing. Karen,
pull it back up.
Karen, can you show Wemby's joint and then show Artest when he hit?
Actually, I'm
when
not
he
gonna lie.
hit Harden in the mouth.
Yeah, no, I'll pull the. So this is Wemby right here.
Boy,
Dude,
that's
I mean, come on, man.
Man, he lucky.
This is in no way the same thing.
Man, he lucky.
It's not. I'm not saying it's the
First
same
off,
thing.
there's a complete stoppage right here of these guys.
I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm simply saying that neither was within the game of basketball. Both were malicious. One was more egregious. Suspend him for the game. He got suspended for the rest of the game. Mind you, he got suspended. He got thrown out of the game, Kieran, I think in the beginning of the second quarter. So, like, he already missed the entirety of a game. There's no need to suspend him for the entirety of an additional game.
Dude, are you
it's
serious,
unnecessary,
dude?
bro. It's unnecessary.
So look, this is the Meta World Peace one that we had.
Which one we
before.
showing this first?
This was crazy,
So look,
though.
bumped.
Yo!
To be fair, similar force though.
How you don't get up and punch? Real quick. How you don't get up and punch him in his mouth?
But here's the difference, though, right?
This is a punch in the mouth.
At least
right here.
Wemby had a ball in his hand,
And I'll be honest, that one caught me off guard. I don't know how you don't protect yourself in that moment. I don't know how you don't swing back. And yes, I know it's Ron Artest. I know some people might be a little hesitant around someone with that kind of reputation. But here's the thing. Guys like Ron Artest, they know exactly how to read a room. Because if you remember, the Malice at the Palace didn't actually start because Artest wanted to fight Ben Wallace. It started because he didn't want any part of Ben Wallace. He laid down on the scorer's table to try and remove himself from the situation. And it was only when a fan threw a drink on him that everything escalated. That wasn't him calming down. That was him choosing his battles. But me personally, I don't care who it is. I don't care how intimidating the reputation is. If I take an elbow to the mouth like that, I'm swinging back. That's just how I'm built. But I say all of that to make a larger point. The NBA has to maintain consistent standards. It doesn't matter if you're a superstar. There have to be clear guidelines around retaliation and losing your composure on the court. A one-game suspension and a fine would have been the right call. Could it have cost them the series? Maybe, but that's the price you pay for losing your cool in a moment that big. And that's exactly the kind of lesson that shapes a young superstar's career going forward.